Ron Howard was born in 1954 in Duncan to parents Gene Spiegel Howard and Rance Howard, both of whom carried quiet but persistent dreams of making it in acting. Their early life together was far from glamorous. Money was tight, opportunities were uncertain, and each day felt like a small gamble on a much bigger dream. Yet, what they lacked in comfort, they made up for in determination and belief. The household was filled with creative energy, scripts, rehearsals, and hope, even when reality pushed back. When the family eventually moved to Hollywood, they didn't arrive with connections or security, just a willingness to try. They lived simply, often stretching every dollar, learning to survive in an industry that rarely guarantees success. Ironically, it would be young Ron, the smallest member of the family, who would first turn those dreams into something real, changing their lives in ways none of them could have predicted. A child finds the spotlight. Ron's introduction to acting came almost naturally, as if he had absorbed it from the environment around him. By the age of 4, he was already stepping in front of cameras, showing a comfort and presence that felt rare for someone so young. What stood out wasn't just talent, but a kind of ease, a genuine quality that made people pay attention. For his parents, this was both exciting and grounding. They saw opportunity, but they also remained cautious, wanting to ensure their child stayed protected in an unpredictable world. Acting wasn't treated as a shortcut to fame in their household, but as a craft that required discipline. Ron's early experiences shaped his understanding of work and responsibility, long before most children even considered such things. While many kids his age were just discovering hobbies, Ron was learning lines, taking direction, and navigating professional spaces. These early steps quietly laid the foundation for a career that would span decades and evolve in unexpected ways. The magic of The Andy Griffith Show. At just 6 years old, Ron stepped into a role that would define his childhood and introduce him to millions. Playing Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show, he became a familiar face in homes across America. His performance carried a sincerity that felt real, never forced, which is why audiences connected with him so deeply. The show's warmth and simplicity mirrored the kind of values Ron was being raised with, making his role feel like an extension of who he already was. For his family, this steady work brought a sense of relief. Financial pressures eased, but his parents remained grounded, choosing to save his earnings rather than indulge in sudden comfort. They understood how fleeting success could be and wanted to build something lasting. This period wasn't just about fame, it was about stability, learning, and quiet growth. Ron absorbed lessons not only about acting, but about life, responsibility, and the importance of staying balanced. Growing up in the public eye. As Ron continued working through his childhood, he experienced something few people ever do: growing up while the world watched. Fame can easily distort reality, especially for young actors, but Ron's upbringing acted as a steady anchor. His parents made deliberate efforts to keep his life as normal as possible, emphasizing education, humility, and perspective. He wasn't raised to believe he was extraordinary. He was taught to value effort and consistency instead. This mindset helped him navigate the pressures of being recognized everywhere he went. While other child stars often struggled with identity, Ron seemed to develop a clear sense of self early on. He understood that acting was something he did, not everything he was. These years shaped his resilience and gave him a grounded outlook that would later become one of his greatest strengths. Even as opportunities expanded, he carried a quiet awareness that fame alone wasn't enough to define a meaningful life. A new chapter with Happy Days. In 1974, Ron stepped into another defining role as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. The show quickly became a cultural phenomenon, and Ron found himself at the center of it. His portrayal of Richie captured the essence of a relatable, good-hearted young man, making him a favorite among audiences. This period brought not just recognition, but a different kind of pressure. Teen stardom can be overwhelming, with expectations growing alongside popularity. Yet Ron maintained the same grounded approach he had developed as a child. Behind the scenes, something else was beginning to take shape. While others focused on the spotlight, Ron started paying attention to what happened beyond it. He observed directors, studied storytelling, and became curious about the mechanics of filmmaking. It wasn't a loud realization, but a quiet shift in perspective. Without making a big announcement, he began imagining a future that didn't involve being in front of the camera. The courage to walk away. At the height of his acting success, Ron made a decision that surprised many. He chose to step away from acting to pursue directing. It wasn't an easy move. Walking away from something secure and successful, requires a level of clarity and courage that few people have. For Ron, it wasn't about dissatisfaction, but about growth. He felt drawn to storytelling in a deeper way, wanting to shape narratives rather than simply perform them. The transition wasn't immediately smooth. Early in his directing career, he faced skepticism and had to prove himself all over again. But he approached this new chapter with the same discipline he had learned as a child. He studied, worked hard, and stayed patient. This phase of reinvention highlighted an important truth. Success in one area doesn't automatically translate to another. Ron had to earn his place again, step by step, building credibility through persistence rather than relying on past achievements. Finding his voice. Behind the camera, Ron's early directing projects, including films like Splash and Cocoon, began to establish him as a filmmaker with a unique voice. These films showed his ability to balance emotion, humor, and storytelling in a way that resonated with audiences. What stood out was his understanding of characters, perhaps shaped by his years as an actor, which allowed him to create stories that felt human and engaging. He wasn't trying to imitate others, he was slowly defining his own style. Each project became a learning experience, helping him refine his approach and build confidence. The industry started to take notice, not because of who he had been, but because of what he was becoming. This period marked a quiet but important transformation. Ron was no longer seen as a former child actor trying something new, but as a director who belonged in his own right. Personal challenges. Behind the success. While Ron's professional life flourished, his personal life carried its own share of challenges. Like many families, his faced difficulties that weren't visible to the public. His brother, Clint Howard, struggled with addiction, a situation that required patience, understanding, and strength. Ron also experienced the loss of his mother in 2000 and his father in 2017, moments that deeply affected him. These experiences brought a different perspective to his life, reminding him of what truly matters. In 2023, he also lost his longtime friend, Cindy Williams, adding another layer of personal grief. Despite these hardships, Ron maintained a sense of quiet resilience. He didn't seek attention for his struggles, choosing instead to process them privately. These moments shaped his character, reinforcing the importance of family, connection, and emotional strength in the face of life's inevitable challenges. A grounded family life. Amid the demands of Hollywood, Ron built a stable and loving family life with his wife, Cheryl Howard, whom he married in 1975. Their relationship became a cornerstone of his life, providing balance and support through every phase of his career. Together, they raised 4 children, including Bryce Dallas Howard, with an emphasis on keeping them grounded despite their connection to the entertainment world. Ron made a conscious effort to create a home environment that prioritized normalcy, values, and independence. He understood firsthand how unusual a life in the spotlight could be, and wanted his children to have a strong sense of identity beyond it. This focus on family reflects a consistent theme in his life: the importance of staying rooted no matter how far success takes you. It's a reminder that personal fulfillment often comes from the relationships we nurture. A legacy beyond Hollywood. Today, Ron Howard's legacy extends far beyond his work in film and television. He has built not only a successful career, but also a meaningful life that balances creativity, family, and contribution. Through his work with his foundation and various philanthropic efforts, he continues to give back, using his influence to support causes that matter to him. His journey reflects more than just professional achievement. It represents growth, adaptability, and purpose. With a career spanning decades, he has shown that success isn't about staying in one place, but about evolving with time and embracing change. From a child actor to an award-winning director and producer, Ron's story offers a powerful example of what's possible when talent is paired with discipline and vision. His life serves as a reminder that true success isn't measured only by recognition, but by the impact we leave behind and the values we carry forward.